How was your Monday after a loss?
Actually, this didn't feel like a normal loss. So I actually went ahead and looked at everything that everybody had to say. Skip and
Yeah,
Shannon was kind of funny.
I didn't even look.
Like, yeah, they got into it for real. It's like you go. I ain't talking no more.
Oh,
Nah, but as far as the Cowboys go, I mean, the loss it didn't feel that bad. How'd you
didn't
take it?
feel that bad.
It didn't.
It was kind of a little bit of what I expected. A little bit. Um,
You called
so
it.
I guess you could say it didn't feel that bad. A lot of some bright spots though. But yeah, we definitely gonna get into that. We definitely gonna get into that. I just didn't know if you just felt a little Monday blues if your
I
morale was low.
I normally feel them. I normally feel them.
Yeah,
Not this time, man. It's not a good loss, but
we'll be back. We'll be back. Hey, turn a new leaf. We coming right back at them next week. Who we got on tap? We got the Detroit Lions
mm-hmm.
stepping into it. But before we get to the Lions, we got to recap our game with the Eagles. Y'all back with your boys.
You are
Sports
now
Attic,
tuned in to
another
Sports
edition.
We
Attic.
back.
Uh, we back. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. You can find us on all platforms. Come check us out, man. Tune in. And yeah, man, let's get into it. We can recap. We went to Link Stadium down in Philadelphia, and yeah, it kind of went the way what I kind of predicted or thought would have happened. That's a pretty talented defense. It's funny, my brother. I don't know how this happened. He is a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yeah, I
Uh,
hate that about him. I
I haven't. I
I
have no clue
love
how that
him.
happened.
I love him,
Yeah,
but I hate
great,
that
great
about
guy,
him.
man. He says it
He
was.
ain't that great.
I can kind of see it because I'm kind of like that with NBA teams. Like if I'm a fan of a player, I kind of root for obviously the success of the team because I'm a fan of that player.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Deshaun Jackson fan back in the day when he was coming up. So I guess that's how it started.
That's
But
whack, bro.
but,
That's whack.
the difference between me and that though, when I like a player in the NBA, I follow. Wherever he go, I'm looking for his success on that team. I don't stay with that team.
Yeah, nah. I don't like that about your brother, and I love
Yeah,
that. I love him.
yeah.
Very good kid, man. Oh man, now.
Oh yeah.
But I
Oh yeah.
really don't like that about him. I really don't like that about him.
Hey, and so he actually said, which was interesting. He was like, "Man, we even played a full game of good football the whole season. We played like two quarters, whether it's the first half or the second half." And he kind of called it. So they come out, go down the field. Man, caught Dante Fowler slipping. That penalty hurt. I don't think they had any intention to snap the ball.
So
It's
wait,
first
wait.
down.
You're referring to the last play of the first quarter.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
you got to set the stage. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, this was the first drive that the Eagles had put together that was actually moving the ball, and they get down there. I think what they're on like 10-yard line, and
Yeah,
we finally stop them. Right,
sure.
so they're about to kick a field goal, and then what's the coach name? Is it
Is it
Sirianni?
Sirianni? Yeah.
Yeah, he did something, and I just watched today. It was very impressive. Apparently, Shanahan started it, but it's a great play. And what it is they had no intentions of snapping the ball, but
Mm-hmm.
the tight end times the fake hood,
Mm-hmm.
and goes in motion. And what that
Mm-hmm.
does is it makes the defender think that the play is going.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he says hood, this guy starts moving, going this way. Even though he's not going forward toward the line of scrimmage, he's going in motion. It can make you
Mm-hmm.
jump. Now, I'm still mad that Fowler jumped. You got to watch the ball. But that was a big play
Absolutely.
because the very next play, that actually ended the quarter. And then the very next play of the second quarter, they scored Miles Sanders up the middle with a run. So
Yep.
that was a big play and a great coaching move. And you got to say right there at that point, Mike McCarthy had got out coached in that situation. Uh, on the simple fact that that was going to be a field goal attempt, and we gave him a
Yeah.
touchdown. So
Yeah.
that's a free 4 points that we added to the total that didn't have to be
That hurt.
added. Yeah,
Yeah,
great
that hurt.
coaching move.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they kind of got some movement or some success with that. They were doing the RPO.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure what they call that. That action out of the RPO where AJ Brown got loose a couple times. But for the majority of the night, man, as you see the stats, Jalen Hurts only threw for 155 yards. It was a lot of short throws and letting the playmakers try to make a play in space and get some yak. Um, so we controlled them through the air. They have an explosive offense. They can really light it up if you let them. So the mesh point RPO was kind of was I think the biggest thing it was doing was making the defender coming off the edge hesitate for 1 second, and kind of make that decision. It's one thing I wanted to ask you. I don't know if there's a rule against it, but when they're doing the RPO, how about they're free? They're letting one of the ends free, right?
Right. Because they put him in conflict.
Right. Why not just? I would rather them just, even if the running back gets a chunk play, I'd rather them just hit the quarterback every single time and make the other opposing team say, okay, we maybe have some success with the run because maybe there's a gap left after the DN takes the quarterback, but are you willing to let your quarterback get hit every single time y'all do that? I don't know if that's a rule with protecting the quarterback because y'all doing he can pull
No,
it.
in that point, he's a runner. So those
He's a
quarterback
runner.
rules,
And
right?
so what if you just every play? I don't think you would want to keep doing that. Even if you have success on the ground,
No, I get what
every
you're
play,
saying. I get what you're
he
saying.
coming off the edge.
But
Yeah,
typically the conflict player is the person that's setting the edge,
correct.
and when he hits the quarterback, he gives up the edge to the running back. So that's going to probably bring a safety or a linebacker that's having to be flying over to make that play, or a cornerback one on one with a running back, which usually should go an advantage toward the running back. But I agree with you. You gotta make a decision so that they don't keep making a decision.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, you might give up some chunk plays on the ground, but I don't know if you want to be like, okay, now we done every time we do this, he's got hit 7 times in a row, like hit, like as if he, was throwing the ball like a
Mm-hmm.
sack.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to keep doing that, putting our quarterback in jeopardy with his health like that? I don't. That's a
Right.
decision to make.
And those are clear shots instead of like when the quarterback is
Yeah,
scrambling and he
he's
slides
just
down
sitting
there.
there.
Yeah, that's a clear shot. You get the
He's just
opportunity
standing
to hit
there,
him.
and you just boom, boom, boom. I'm not sure if that'll be interesting. I kind of rather that.
Yeah, no, no. Next time, week 16, they run that RPO, hit Jalen Hurts right in his mouth
every time,
every
every time,
time. I
every
agree with
time,
that.
and I think they'll stop. But
They will stop.
yeah,
He's
for the
going to
most part,
stop. He's going to stop. He's going to
yeah,
start. He's going to start pitching it way sooner, and that's going to put
yeah.
the dude that's the conflict player in a position where he can react and make a play on that guy.
React to make that he gonna hand it off him like ain't no. I'm not trying to be sneaky. Like here, bro, and like he gonna
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah.
retreating. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
go.
This is a run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what that'd be interesting to see. But now overall, and we ran the ball better than them.
Who?
When you see we ran the ball, the Cowboys ran the ball better
But,
than the
but
Eagles.
who? But who?
Oh, Zeke had a great game.
Who?
Zeke ran really well.
Oh man, I love the growth that I'm seeing
13,
in you.
13. Hey man, I'm not a Zeke
I
hater.
love it. You're not a
13
Zeke
rushes,
hater.
80 some odd yards, 6.2 average.
Man, that
The,
sounds
the one thing,
touchdown, touchdown.
touchdown. The one
Yeah.
thing about the Eagles, I will say, with their running game, the way I just felt, and again, um, this is obviously was yesterday, but it did feel like if they averaged 3.5 yards, it felt like they got 3.5 to 4 yards every single play,
Who are
every
you
time they
talking
ran
about?
it. The Eagles. That's what it felt like to me.
We made a couple plays. In the backfield. I know Vander Esch and Parsons got him one time,
Mm-hmm.
couple yard loss. I mean, I
Because
get what you're saying.
typically with that average is like a burst play, like a big play, and then a
Right,
lot of 1, 2, and then it
right.
averages out to whatever averages out.
But you
They
feel
never
like they
had,
literally ran for
yeah,
average
yeah.
every
They
time.
never really had that chunk play
Nah, I
in the
disagree.
run game.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I disagree. Well, yeah. You're all right. Every time they ran the ball, it was closer to that average.
It
But
was
we
close to
had,
the average.
but we did have a couple. We did have a couple drives throughout the game. I want to say like three of them, almost in a row.
Hmm.
When we were getting back in the game, in between the third
Absolutely,
quarter and the fourth
yeah,
quarter, where we were shutting all that down.
yeah. It
And
had to, for us to be able to get back in the
he,
game, and for them to have to punt the ball. that stretch, right? We did really well defensively to get the ball back in the offense, and the offense was putting points on the board. That was impressive. That little stretch, I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that, honestly.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
stretch to come back in the game like that.
yeah, and even think about the 3 points if Noah Brown was able to make that play on the
That's
sideline.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the touchdown. Is that what you're talking
I'm
about?
talking about the touchdown that he did not catch. That
Correct,
he
correct.
clearly didn't get in, but
Yeah,
they did a yeah.
yeah.
Um, but
Nice
if
effort.
Noah, great effort. I think we
Yeah,
should get the ball to Noah Brown more. Actually,
he's been playing well, man.
while we're talking about him, like I was
Yeah,
just watching the replay of the game and the highlights just to make sure that everything was fresh on my mind, man. And he caught the ball on, I don't know what the down and distance was, but it was kind of like a little slant, and he had about 4 yards to go to get to the first down. And he's like a bull, man. He's just a big, strong dude. Took the ball
yeah,
and gave us 4 or 5 yards of yak, got the first down. So I think we actually should go to Noah Brown more. But you're right, that comeback, that flurry that we put on was actually
yeah.
impressive, especially after the early turnovers that led to points. Cooper Rush, man, he looked like
Yeah.
a backup yesterday, but
It's okay.
he showed some heart to me, man. I mean, he went out there and he fought and gave us opportunity to come back. That last interception that he threw, the one, the deep ball to the safety,
Yeah.
CD Lamb literally was wide open on that one.
I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I gotta check that out.
Out here was wide open,
Yeah.
and it was a clean pocket for Cooper Rush,
Yeah.
and he had opportunity to let it rip. And maybe maybe he just don't have a good arm. I don't know. Maybe the ball slipped.
And
Well,
I'm
that
going.
Noah Brown play that I was talking about, he actually did come back over to
Oh,
him.
he scanned.
That was his last read. Yeah,
Got
but
you.
the CD Lamb throw, that was the interception to the safety. That
Mm-hmm.
was the read. That was the
Yeah.
read. I mean, when you go back and you watch it, you'll see that was the read. He just literally drastically underthrew him. It was literally just CD Lamb and the safety running over, and he threw it so he underthrew him so much that CD couldn't even really kind of come back and make a play on the ball based on his momentum that he was going. And
Yeah.
he had beat
Hey.
the safety so bad the safety could.
Yeah. Yeah. Air horns for Cooper Rush, man. Over this
Yeah,
stretch.
salute.
Air horn, salute, man. You did your job, bro. You really did. In conjunction with the defense, because it doesn't happen if we don't have a really good defense, but we do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So the defense was able to keep you in games, and you play within yourself. And the biggest positive that he did over this stretch was he didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
Obviously, except for the Eagles game, and that's
Right.
why we were able to stay in games and win games. He didn't lose us the game, which is very, very important. And I just had a feeling that the Eagles could put enough pressure on you by putting points on the board that he was going to have to get out of that shell, and that's when his limitations were going to kind of start showing.
With respect to Cooper Rush, I believe that the second half adjustments with Cooper Rush, where he did make some passes downfield,
Sure.
a lot of that stuff, the receivers weren't even open. A lot of his
Yeah.
misses, it was no separation. One of the interception to Michael Gallup, the tip pass, and the guy caught it, the tip interception.
Yeah.
There was no separation. Michael Gallup
Yeah,
literally
no.
was not open. And
I mean,
at some point, you got to throw the ball, right?
clock going in your head. A lot of that little flurry we had, a lot of that success came from our rookie tight ends.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
the bootleg hitting them in the flat,
Hitting
getting
the shot.
downfield. Hey man, Schultz, they are not gonna have any issues with being like, holla at your player.
Well, I told you that before the season started. I know talent when I see it, and Schultz is a very decent player. He's a good dude. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's not a difference maker. He's not Travis Kelce. I don't care what the numbers say.
Well, yeah, definitely not that.
What-
And these
what-
rookie
what-
tight ends are better blockers. So it was it. What's my first guy? Jake Ferguson and
Ferguson and
Hendershot.
Hendershot. Yeah.
They're better blockers, and I like that combo.
And they both get busy when they catch the ball. They both
do.
get busy. They put
Yeah.
they give boys crazy work. You see him the
He
shot.
made me nervous with that though.
Ooh, you see him Euro step out, buddy.
Yeah, we need a little more ball security though. But like bringing the ball like this in front of you is crazy.
Yeah, it was a nice move to me. Then
Hey, got in there though.
then he lowered his shoulder and lowered the boom and got put some strength behind it.
I like what I saw from him, but as you said, especially seeing those adjustments in the second half, coming out of halftime and being able to make those adjustments, it had to make you feel good. And I think that's why that optimism, you feel good moving forward. Hey man, the whole if game, it is what it is. You can't do that. But obviously, we don't have our starting quarterback, and you try to imagine what that game would look like with our starting quarterback. But like I told you, and it looks like Dak that you saw him in the pregame. It looks like he's getting really close to being ready to go, man. He had some pop on the ball, being able to throw it. Obviously, he's just throwing against air, not getting hit. You could take another hit to another helmet, and you never know where that's at. So you do want to get that thing back as close to 100% as possible. But it looks like he's ramping up, man, to give it a go. I would think coming up against the Lions. Were you able to see him warming up before the game?
No, I didn't see it, but that's all the announcers were talking about. Oh, I
Yeah,
saw him, man. He had some zip on the ball, and
he was throwing with some zip, but again, that's I mean, that's against air. You know what I mean? So taking the ball under center, that pop, over and over again, it could be different. You know what I mean? Getting hit, putting your hand down to brace your fall. So just because you're throwing against air with some zip does not mean you might, you're ready to take on for the rest of the season. But I think
but I think the good thing about that though is that
mm,
bringing him back next week and the following week,
yeah,
we get Detroit Lions and then
uh,
we get the Chicago Bears.
Bears, yep,
Both of those games are here in Dallas. So
mm-hmm,
we know that the weather and the conditions are going to be fine. Now
sure,
we go into the bye, and then when we come out of the bye, we got Green Bay in Green Bay. So that
yeah,
game is going to be a cold weather game. And those are the type of games when you do stuff like break your hand and
yeah,
get surgery, when you get that coldness on there, then
stiffen up,
yeah, and then how does it feel when you throw the ball and somebody hits your hand? Inevitably, the defenders know that he just broke his hand. Why wouldn't they try to get a
yeah.
shot on him? You
And
know,
then so defensively, obviously we've been kind of spoiled a little bit the first few weeks, and they still play well. They did still play well, but they've set in the standard like we've talked about that we're now playing well. You kind of expect like when they make a mistake or something or giving up miscues, right? Like with the touchdowns to Devontae Smith when they had the miscue, the communication breakdowns. That's the type of stuff you don't want to see from a top defense. So, it happens, but they kind of I think they held their own for the most part. They
they
held their own.
played well. The timing of the last touchdown that they gave up was bad.
Yeah,
That was a situation in where we had just scored. We literally had
yeah,
just scored and made the game 27
that
to
was it.
17. So it was
Mm-hmm.
20 to
No,
17 game.
20-17.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And 20 to 17 game, pretty much within the entire fourth quarter. And on the following drive, give up a touchdown. Now,
time killing drive too. Like they drove.
yeah, they drove.
Yeah,
They
they
drove, and then
drove the length of the
and
field.
then they
Yeah,
scored a touchdown. And
yep.
that was one of those. That was one of those drives where we really needed our
We
defense to go
really
ahead and
needed
get
to
us a
stop.
stop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because what had happened, because we got down so early, especially with the turnovers, it had put Cooper Rush in a position, in our team in a position
Mm-hmm.
where Cooper Rush had to cook, if you will.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's not the position that we rather play with Cooper Rush, right? So if they
Right.
get a stop and we down 17 to 20 with the fourth, let's say 8-9 minutes left in the game, it's a couple possessions. So now we can stick to the run, which is what's working on them, and you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
have Cooper Rush be a hero. But when you give up that touchdown, luckily they didn't score 7 because we got an offsides penalty, and then or some kind of, I think it was an offsides penalty. They ended up going for it on the one, and we stopped them, so they only had 6 points.
Right.
So they put us down 9 instead of 11, or 9 instead
Yep.
of 10, and which was still a winnable game. But in that
Yep.
following drive, Cooper Rush came out. First, Zeke came out and gave us a great run on 2nd and 8. I think he ran for
Mm-hmm.
about 13 or 14 yards. And then on first down, we threw deep to CD, who was wide open,
Yeah.
but drastically underthrew it for a pick. And that just was pretty much game at
That
that
was
point.
it. That was it. That was
Yeah.
it. And so, I do think I've seen this a couple times from that dude Sirianni. Dog, it looks like a kind of like a fake tough guy. After the game was over, I'm not sure what he was so angry about. I guess maybe because some dudes was getting into it in the victory formation. I know Tristan had to be restrained by a couple players. So I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know if he was talking to Mike McCarthy or Tristan Hill, but cussing and all. Like he gonna do something. Like, what if Tristan Hill ran up on you? Like, chill out.
Yeah,
He upset.
well, he knows he got 53 dudes that
That's true.
better come over here and protect me.
And do something, yeah.
Yeah, and usually
But
they
it's
walk
all
with
good.
they
That
usually
definitely
walk
just
with the
makes it
police
more.
officers too.
Yeah, that definitely just makes it more. Builds the hype for that game when they come to Dallas. I look forward to it for sure. Hopefully, the offense is humming at a little higher clip. They better be humming at a higher clip. But I hope we stay. Again, we talked about this. I think this was a blessing in disguise with this break, with this transition to Cooper to see our identity. I think we built the identity, and that can just add to that a little bit instead of some complete, we ripping and running type deal.
Yeah, and I'm not happy that we lost this game. Obviously, there are no good wins, but or there are no good losses. Excuse
Sure,
me.
sure, yeah.
Uh, but this game feels different. Just on the simple fact that the Cowboys went 4-1 with our backup quarterback.
Oh yeah,
When Dak initially got hurt, so you go 4-1 with your backup quarterback, right?
yeah,
And when Dak got hurt initially, everybody thought the season was over. I mean, I'm not trying to call you out, but you in
yeah,
particular
yeah.
was
I
saying,
did, I
"Hey,
did.
it's time to tank.
Yeah,
Let's just throw the season in the trash. It's not worth it."
yeah.
And then Cooper Rush ran off 4 straight wins, and then finally lost to a team
He
that
said
a
he
lot
ain't
of
try to.
people.
He said he ain't try to call me out, and then proceeded to call me out. But go ahead, continue.
I mean, bro, that's not
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
you out.
yeah, yeah.
I was just leading
It's
into
calling
the
me out,
point that
but it's fine. You're right. I did. I
I
did.
didn't think that we should start tanking, but I thought the season was over too. So I'm not calling you
Well,
out. I agree. I think the
the reason
whole
I said I thought we should start tanking is because I don't like being middle of the road. So if Cooper Rush is going to be, just we go 8-8 or 7-9 now, I'd rather be sorry than 7-9 with the talent we got on the team and then add a top class. That was my thinking with it.
yeah, but the NFL is not like the NBA where you got to get like the top 3 or 4 pick unless
That's
you're trying
true.
to get a quarterback. You can get a good player at 15.
That's true.
I think we got Micah somewhere around there in the draft, so
You
it's
got
not the same
11
thing. 11,
or 10,
okay, yeah,
10,
yeah.
10, 10.
That
Yeah,
that's probably a middle of the pack team
yeah,
or
well,
slightly below.
yeah, but a little below. Yeah,
Yeah, but I understand your sentiments, but at the end of the day, well, my point is that everybody thought that the season was over, and then Cooper Rush
sure.
came out here and he outplayed everybody's expectations. He literally kept our season afloat. Now, when
He
I
did.
say he did, obviously he didn't do this by himself because the defense. I mean, those dudes are real,
Yeah,
but he complimented them, not turn the ball over, like you said. Salute to Cooper Rush. I think he did a great job, and I think that it encourages me that we lost this game because not only does it not put us at tie for number one in the NFC East, but it puts us at 4-2, which is there's only 4 teams in the NFC that has at least 4 wins. Two
mm-hmm.
of those teams, 3 of those teams are in the NFC East,
NFC East.
right? And that makes me feel confident that we can come back because we play the Giants. We already have a head-up win against the Giants, and then we got the Eagles again. We also had the Giants
Mm-hmm.
again. So if we go ahead and
Yeah,
take care of the Giants and take care of the Eagles, that pretty much puts us at first place. So, and we did that with our backup quarterback, and
we did.
our schedule is not like very difficult going forward. It's not like a crazy strength of schedule. So going forward, bro, we're in real good position. And the fact that we third, it takes all of the pressure off. It's like we get to fly under the radar. It's like
But we the Cowboys. We'll never fly under the radar.
yeah, but in the standings, it's like we'll creep up and you look up and it's like week 12, week 13, week
Yeah,
14, and it's like, oh shoot, the Cowboys one game
right there.
behind. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right there.
And then we will go into week 16, week 16 in Dallas,
That's gonna
Philadelphia
be
Eagles
crazy.
is
That's gonna be crazy.
bro. Shout out to the Eagles. They had a good team. I think I saw some good plays. The play that they did when they take AJ Brown and they line him up in the
Yeah,
backfield on the left side, and then what they do is we'll be in man. And I saw it twice. You were right. And it was Diggs one time. And then
it
the
was Diggs
second
one time trying to get through the traffic.
that was the play for the first down, Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
But he gave a half-hearted effort too trying to get through there. Because once he kind of came into like the crowd,
The trash. Yeah,
he just kind of gave up trying to run. But
yeah.
the second time it was
Micah.
no. What's my guy from Michigan? Cornerback.
Oh, Jordan Lewis.
Yes, it was Jordan Lewis, man on man. Did the same thing. He tried to fight through the traffic, but it's just
Yeah,
too late. And then AJ Brown made a good
difficult.
play.
Yeah,
I like how teams take plays that they like that work and they use it again.
Yeah,
Do it
yeah.
again.
That's a nice play. That's a nice play because the guy that's creating the traffic, I mean, that's coming across, he's not even like running a certain route. He's literally just trying to find you and like just getting your way. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's got to be very difficult. You for a man, that's a man. A play to beat man defense because you got to run zone against something like that. Like that's gonna work a lot
Yeah, but I'm sure
to
they
catch
got
you a
I'm sure
man.
they got some kind of look for that if it's a zone too. I'm sure that play. I mean, I'm sure that play has some kind of counter to it. But either way, it was a great play, man. Shout out to the
Absolutely.
Eagles. They beat us, man. Fair and square. We'll be back. I just cannot wait to see him. I can't wait to see this next game. I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
Jalen Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts is out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's good. He isn't taking that next step. He has earlier against some bad teams where he looks like he's just lighting it up. But yeah, yesterday he didn't look too great.
No, he
155 yards, like I said. His legs, the threat of his legs is impactful. It is, running that RPO. But in terms of kind of dialing it up through the air, he didn't play too well,
and
especially early. He looked nervous, or maybe he was too hyped, too turned up. He was, kind of inaccurate with the ball. But yeah, that wasn't his best showing. That could have been a coming out party for him.
I hear all this talking about the Eagles going undefeated. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Especially if they don't play a full game of good, great football. It's just dispersed.
They'll lose to somebody that they should beat.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
football goes.
yeah.
So it'll
As I
be
as I saw this past weekend.
yes. You explain what you're talking about
So I call myself trying to take some favorites, and roll with them.
on the money
And
line.
I want to say what three of the five lose easily.
Yeah, I
The
mean they
Bucks
started
lost,
going down. 49ers lost,
the
Packers
49ers
lost.
lost, the Bucks lost, and the Packers lost. Like off rip.
Yeah,
And I think that's it.
Bucks, Packers. Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't think I took Baltimore in that. I took them in our parlay of the day though, which might be a good segue into our recap. You still got one actively going as we speak. What is that looking like?
I don't know. Hey, I hate to say I told you so, and then I didn't tell you this, but
What's that?
Sunday morning I woke up and for some reason I felt like the Giants were gonna get that upset.
Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know. I just felt like that Sunday morning. It was one of those things. It just,
Hmm.
when you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're like, I kind of
Yeah,
like the Giants. They're at home.
man.
I know the type of football that they play, and I don't think Daniel Jones is trash.
He's trash. He's trash.
I don't think
He's
Daniel
trash.
Jones is trash, and I like their coach,
He's trash.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. 16-13.
Yeah, 16 to
Denver's
13.
up with 5 minutes and 46 seconds left. So what was it? Was it the Chargers -4?
Yeah, Chargers -4. So they go score a touchdown right here. They'll
Yeah,
cover.
push.
They'll push, but that's technically covering.
Yeah.
But I
So
put
hey,
it
we'll
over
see.
one. But
We'll see.
because
No,
even
no, no.
if
You ain't got to put that as no one now. You
because,
you you
no, you can put it
three in
over
the
there as a
possible.
one. Yeah,
You three in the possible.
you can put it as a one because that still make me undefeated for the weekend. Like I
That's
said,
a fact.
because if you take the pick, then I win the money. I still win the
That's a
money. It
fact.
just
Let
lessens
me
my
pull up.
payout.
All right, so I had the Bills at Kansas City. They covered. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the Bucs they lost straight up. They had the Bucs -8. They lost straight up. Jags versus Colts. We both had that game. I took the L on that one. I had the Jags covering +2, and the Giants. I had the Ravens -5.5 against the Giants. So a womp womp.
He's
One
trash.
and
He's
three
trash.
for the week.
He's trash.
On the pick'em. Trey, let's recap yours.
I had the Chargers -4, which is currently going now. I had the Bills -2.5 against the
Kansas City
against
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. They covered that. I had the Jets +7.5 against the Packers. They actually won outright. And then I had the Colts -2 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they covered that as well. Now, the thing is, this is interesting, Ron. I think everybody who's listening, we're having a breakthrough right now. I'm finna put everybody on game. So last week's picks came from looking at the record that these teams have against the spread. And not only just specifically going with a team that has a winning record against the spread, is making sure that you find a team that has a very good record against the spread that's playing a team that has a bad record against the spread. Now, with that said, I learned in my research that the Colts I think the Colts were undefeated against the spread. And the Jets were 4-1, now 5-1 against the spread. And I also learned yesterday that the Atlanta Falcons are undefeated against the spread.
Every time I bet against them, they've obviously won. I think like straight up, like forget the spread. I think every time I picked against, they just won.
Yeah, so the Atlanta Falcons may be a team that may make it into the picks parlay of the day with Ryan and Trey may make an appearance.
Cowboys had to be pretty good against the spread this year, even though we got our rule. We try to keep them out.
Yeah, I try not to bet. I try not to bet on it, but I did have a ticket in yesterday with the Cowboys covering that 6.5 points, and literally, I mean, we lost by 9.
Yeah. That field goal, even though it was like 60-something yards.
That field goal, but I mean, hey, yeah. But if you hit that field goal,
it had enough range on enough leg.
I didn't anticipate 3 interceptions or 3 turnovers. I feel like
anticipate 1 or 2 for sure.
I feel like he get one off. And if you keep it at one turnover or below, we win that game. I
feel like it depended on the game flow. Like if the Eagles were able to put us in a position where we have to open up the offense a little bit more to score quicker, I felt like that was going to be trouble.
Mike McCarthy start down?
So I'll say this. I like the halftime adjustments, but that one sequence, bro, which turned the game.
Which one?
Where CeeDee Lamb got the first down.
Okay. Okay. You talking about the non-challenge.
I'm like, bro, he got that. What really threw me off? Okay, so like, boom, like, why not slow down and wait to see? Okay, they're not gonna play it on their big screen as if it was them, but you can give your your folks up in the booth some time to take a look at it. Forget that. We hurried up. Like we ran that play and hurried up. You know how as if an offense you short of it and you short. Or it's a catch that's contested and it hit the ground and you like, I don't know if he caught that, but they called it complete and you rush as if it's going to be in your favor. We did that.
Yeah, against ourselves.
Yeah, and we the ones that like, bro, you're short. And
then you run the same play that we always run, the little play action bootleg that they defended perfectly. No one was open. Yep.
Turnover on downs. Mm-hmm. That was huge. And I'm like, what was that? I don't know what that was. On our side of the field.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was trash.
That was trash. That was a first down. You don't slow down to give the booth a check. I get it's bang, bang. Like you can't see, that's a first down, but it was so close. It was close enough where you saw it was short to be like, whoa.
In Mike McCarthy's defense, the referee should have made it a first down initially.
She should have, but
it should have been a first down initially. Now, Mike McCarthy's his response to this in the press conference today was that they were in turbo, which means that they wanted to hurry up and get a snap off. They didn't want to give the other team a chance to get set.
Okay.
He said that he thought that it was a first down as well. No one buzzed down and kind of told him like, hey, maybe we should challenge it. But when he realized that he was 1 yard away, the play that they had already called up, they said that they wanted to run that play if they got man, and they looked and got the look that they wanted. So instead of challenging it, they went ahead and ran the play in anticipation that they were going to get their yard, but they didn't get their yard. Now, that's very confident, but I just think that you got to be more careful and meticulous in those situations. I think you got to be careful just because you got a backup quarterback. Now, I also understand the aggression and wanting to go for it because you have a backup quarterback. And right now you need to make, some kind of splash plays.
I'm not mad. I was bad. Forget that. I was mad.
No, that was stupid.
The bootleg too, because we running the ball well as well. So
They should have gave
again,
about a what's that? Who that? What's I can't think. I run
Tony Pollard.
nah the other
And
one.
so when
Nah, the other one. The other one.
Rico Dowdle,
Nah, the good one.
CD on the jet sweep.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
the one that make
I
90
don't know what you're
million.
talking about. I don't
The
know what
one
you're
that make
talking
me.
about.
We pay $90 million for a yard. Go get it.
Yeah, for sure.
You pay $90
No,
million,
I'm just
put the
playing
ball in
though.
that boy belly and go get the
I'm just
first
playing.
down.
Hey Zeke. I mean, and it is tough to just run when they know
I'm
you're
just
gonna
playing
run,
Zeke, man. I know your name, man.
but we definitely should have. Come on, dog. Like, come on, bro. We should have at least challenged, bro.
Yeah, no,
Come
that
on.
was
But I don't
horrible.
like to hurry up. Yeah. But hey, when something don't go right,
To me, that's like a turnover.
it was a
That's
turnover.
like a
No, it
pick.
was.
It's
It's like a
literally,
block punt right there.
yeah,
Or pick.
literally.
Yeah, a fumble. Yeah. It was a
Luckily, our
turnover.
defense stood up right there and only held them to 3.
That hurt. That
Yeah, because
hurt.
at that
That
point we
hurt.
were down 14-0. So
Yeah.
I do understand the aggression. I just feel like you should have took our time, make sure that like I would have even rather like you said, make the challenge, get the challenge, and then
Yeah.
you keep your time out, obviously. But then if you decide to go for it, still you had time to think about it and come up with a play or a look
Right.
that you
We
wanted to
talked
do.
about it. It was a
Yeah.
bad. It was all around. I know it's bang bang, but you were in turbo or whatever, so that was your call to be in such a rush. But
Now, do you
hey,
think that Dan Quinn sometimes gets so Dan Quinn? We respect Dan Quinn. He's doing a phenomenal
mm-hmm.
job. But we struggle to stop the run, and I think that is because we do too many stunts and twists with our linemen up front, and I think sometimes you'll stunt and twist right into what the offense is looking for, and we getting drove back. I mean, like not necessarily like dog, but like you said, I mean we ran the ball well yesterday. They did the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know because I can't fault it too much because I see a lot of analysts breaking it down and seeing how the stunts are just causing havoc when they are
For
passing the ball.
passing. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen if they're doing that against the run as well. So I'm not sure, but the run defense are definitely kind of like I said. It just when it felt like they were running for average, it literally. I know we had a couple of plays behind the line of scrimmage, but it really felt like, damn, we really can't stop the run. That's what it felt like. Even though we ran the ball better, but it was like boom, 4 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. Let's do it again. 4 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards. And they especially that drive at where they scored when it was 20-17. They would just went down the field. That's what it felt like. And then at the end, as they got closer, I think they finally popped one to play action, and like AJ Brown broke a tackle and kind of got in the red zone or whatever.
But
But I'm not sure.
They play football the way the Cowboys should play football, and
How's that?
run their ball. They run the
Oh
ball.
yeah,
They
they ran the
run the
ball
ball.
39 times.
They
39
run.
times.
They run the ball, and the pass plays that they make, the
Come
splash
off of
plays
that.
to come off the run plays,
Agreed.
and it seems like, oh man, and you look up. That's why Jalen Hurts averages 200. Excuse me. That's why Jalen Hurts averages 271 yards passing, but he's only thrown 2 touchdown passes. Well, now he threw one last night, didn't he?
Yeah.
To 2 of them last night. So
Yeah.
he only got 6 touchdown passes because their offense is run, splash pass, run it in the end zone. The quarterback
And he'll run
run.
it. He'll try to run it his. So I think he got quite a few rushing touchdowns.
Now I would got to give him some credit. I actually think that his physical ability on those 1 yard runs. That is a benefit.
That's
and
him.
how come we don't have a play like that? How come we didn't have a play like that for our 4th down call? Why we got to do the bootleg out the thing? Why we couldn't just line 4 people up in the backfield or 3 people up in the backfield and just push Cooper Rush forward?
Well, Cooper Rush don't squat. I think bro squat like 600 and some pounds.
Yeah, that's true. But if you're gonna put 2 people behind him,
on some of them plays, Jalen was met like with somebody, and he just kept. You just literally see his legs churning and push forward. Well, I don't know. I don't think you pushing Cooper Rush. Like you might get pushed back.
I don't know. I think that when Dad gets back, we need the heavy run, a lot of play action, A lot of Hendershot, a lot of
They do it
Ferguson,
with Dak. Dak should be able to do it.
a lot of Noah.
Tom Brady still do it.
Yeah, yeah.
4th and 1.
But we don't want Dak to get hurt.
Yeah, well.
Spot is like glass. It's just my pinky. My pinky hurts. I threw a game-winning touchdown against the Patriots. My quad. My ankle.
Yeah.
What was it? What is it? What was it? What did it even hurt? How did you hurt yourself on a
It was something in the calf or something.
My calf.
Yeah.
It's glass. But hey, hopefully glass holds up this year and we're gonna be able to see what he does. Now this Lions game ain't gonna be easy.
Nah, it won't be easy. That's a hard nosed team.
And they come and explosive. They fight hard. They have weapons, and they're coming off a bye week.
Explosive. Yeah, and St. Brown will be out there,
and we'll see, Swift. So was Swift.
And Swift. That's an explosive offense. They led the league for quite a while, probably up until the bye with explosive plays.
So if Dak is who they tell me that Dak is, this will be a.
We're gonna see.
This will be a cakewalk. It should be a cakewalk.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't put expectations on the Cowboys.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. If Dak go out there and we score 30 points with the offense that we have, I'd be shocked, even with Dak back, because I think that our receivers are below average. I don't think they get separation.
We get 30 points. That's defense kind of in special teams playing a part in that.
Right, but then that means that Dak is literally lights out when he's getting his opportunities, whereas Cooper Rush may have been middle of the pack or peddling water.
Yeah,
Dak should be able to flourish in those situations.
We're going to see. I think he's going to try to get his boy Dalton back involved.
Is Dalton going to come back?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I like Ferguson. I think Ferguson and Hendershot.
I like Ferguson and Hendershot.
Nobody talks about this. Dalton chokes fumbles a lot. He fumbles a lot.
I know he did last year. It was a game where he did it like 3 times. He got back on him like twice, but
he fumbles a lot. Like, that's a thing. Yeah, but shout out to Dalton Schultz, bro. Go get your money because I would do the same thing.
Your money, bro. I don't know. He ain't having the biggest of a year to go get his bread now. Honestly,
yeah. Somebody assigned him in the offseason. They
gave him 1 year deal.
What'd they give Joku?
I don't know. Joku got paid. That was surprising.
The Browns just be giving out money, don't they?
That was surprising.
Y'all need to give me a helmet.
Yeah.
That's what I
No,
need.
You don't.
But
no,
for the
don't.
money they gave Deshaun Watson, who ain't played. You saw what? What you
saw that Tua play, and I said no.
Oh, yeah. Which one? Which Tua play?
The most recent one. The most recent one, I said no, sir.
Because that's
crazy.
He got a woozy the day before.
Yeah. That had, the woozy one, maybe, you could take that one, but that last one, no, sir.
He smiled, man. That's really what it is. They just throw him around like a little rag doll. Just bam.
That's crazy.
Football a dangerous sport, but I love to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. That's just like boxing or people, how they love to watch UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And that's barbaric. That UFC is crazy.
I know we're about to wrap up, Ryan. And obviously, SportzAttic, we definitely talk Cowboys, but we also talk Mavericks. And this is our last taping before the season starts on Wednesday.
Yep.
Dallas Mavericks are on the road, and we play the Phoenix Suns. And last time the Mavericks met the Phoenix Suns, we put them out of the playoffs in 7 games, and they were actually favored. DeAndre Ayton got into it with his coach.
Yeah. They still beefing.
It was contract talks. Apparently, they're not talking over the offseason.
Yeah.
We don't even have to go into that game and what you think, because in the basketball it's too hard to go game for game, and there's too many games together each game. Yeah. But I will ask you this. What do you think? Where do you see the Mavericks finishing the regular season? And what kind of playoff success do you think they'll have if you have them making the playoffs?
Honestly, that would be kind of just a shot in the dark, just to be honest, completely honest, in terms of that just be a random guess, because I need to see the other teams too. I kind of got a vibe of maybe the next step we'll take as a team with our additions and things like that. But to say where we're going to finish, I need to see the other teams first.
Okay.
So, and I need to see Luka. And I need to see Luka to see if
what you mean you need to see Luka?
I need to see Luka to see if our playing style has changed at
Oh,
all. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he gonna go crazy during the regular season. Of course, he might be MVP,
he's gonna go
but the
crazy in
whole
the playoffs too.
he does go crazy. But when you play the top teams, like we saw with Golden State last year, the whole just a one man dribble, that it has a ceiling on it. It does.
Absolutely.
It does. So if we not moving the ball and seeing him more off the ball, and it's going to be much of this more of the same, which is not bad. He got to the Western Conference Finals, but there's a ceiling on that. And
I can't argue with that. I can't
yeah.
argue with
So
that. But it's still like taking the ball out of your best player's hands. I just think that the Mavericks can be more creative with having, like you said, moving the ball a little bit more, um, allowing other ball handlers like Spencer Dinwiddie. Apparently, Josh Green is going to be a big thing this year. A lot of fans are excited about him. A lot of Jason Kidd has talked about allowing him to be a ball handler this year. A lot of people are excited for his development. Me personally, I am not on that train. I think Josh Green is a good defender, energy player. I would like to see him get more minutes and be more involved in the offense, but I don't think that he is a facilitator, and I know he's not a corner shooter. So we'll see how that goes. Like you said, we brought in Christian Wood from Houston. Looks like he's coming off the bench, but I don't care if he's coming off the bench. I think they're going for it throughout the games. You'll see that he plays most games.
yeah,
As we go small, he'll be our small man center. Uh, he does a good job shooting that three that Porzingis used to shoot. Like Luka comes
yeah,
down court swinging at the top of the key, and he shoots that three. He can
yeah,
shoot and he can make it. He gives us rim protection. Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming off the bench, and it looked like his light is the greenest that I've ever seen a light be green. He gets his
yeah,
shots up. He's always been like
yeah.
that,
You get him
but
up.
he's
Yeah,
really like that. Like apparently, they must have sat down with him in a meeting and said,
we need you to let it go.
yeah, when you're on the court, let it rip. You need to go
Yeah,
try to get buckets every time, and it looked like he's doing that. So, I think that the Mavericks are going to finish top three in the West, and I think they will improve on our record from last year. I want to say we finished with 52 wins last year. I say 55 is easy. Maybe even push for 60. And the reason that I say that is because we know that Luka is going to be having an MVP type season. I think that Luka going into his fifth year, he's pretty solid and comfortable with the people that he plays. So I think he's gonna have
sure.
one of those type of years that we're just gonna win. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like LeBron back in the day when he was just putting up 60 wins. I think we win 55 easy. We won 52 without Luka being in shape until January last year. So we know Luka's in shape. So I think
yeah.
we get 3 extra wins.
I look forward to it, and I definitely don't want to take the ball out of Luka's hands, but you can take it out of his hands until he get to a certain spot, and then give him the ball. But I just don't want the whole James Harden style dribble, monster numbers, assists, all going crazy, and then you run against a team like who don't hold the ball for more than 2 seconds in somebody's hand.
Nah,
Except for one person sometimes get busy being Steph. But
yeah.
I just don't like that style when you play the top teams. You even if you make it and you play against, a team that's really great defensively, like that just doesn't work. Everybody watching you, you make some shots, XYZ. So I hope we change that a little bit, but we'll see.
Okay, bonus question. Last question. Okay, with a player like Luka, right? You said that he needs to get to a certain spot. So I believe that's when players, reach their peak is when they start going to those spots and getting their buckets more efficiently, right? Like Dirk used to do. What
Mm-hmm.
spot do you put Luka in? Because he got so much in his bag. He can post you up. He can shoot the step back three. He can run the screen and roll. What is the spot that we need to look for Luka, or would you put Luka in? And that's
Oh
my
no, he
last
got a
question.
lot. He got a lot of areas. He got a lot. He got. I like the elbow. I like the post, and he can still do the things he does now. The pick and roll. He could. Of course, he's deadly off the pick and roll. He just need to get off the ball. We need to move the ball more because that'll win a lot of regular season games. It definitely will. And he's gonna go crazy. Um, but like I said, once we get to the playoffs and meet the top echelon of the teams in the playoffs, I just don't think that style gets you to the pinnacle. That's
All
just
right,
my opinion.
that's fair. Like,
So
subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We appreciate the love. Like and subscribe.
for sure, we out.